If you've ever wondered how to capture those light and airy food photos, even on those cold and dark winter days, then you've come to the right place because that's the topic for today's video. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel dedicated to helping you become a better and more confident food photographer. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking all about how to shoot light and bright food photos. I will be showing you the essential tools that I have in my gearbox that I use all the time to create these beautiful light and airy kind of feeling images. I live in the UK, so the winter is cold and dark, the days are short, and yet I'm still able to create light and airy food photos with just a few tools. So I will show you what those are in just a moment, and afterwards we're also going to do a short shoot where I am going to show you how I put those tools into action. So the first tool that we're going to quickly talk about is light. There is no photography without light. I tend to shoot almost all of my photography with natural light, so you're going to want a nice big window as your light source. I'm actually standing right in front of mine in the dining room. We have an east facing window, and you want to choose a window where you can place your backdrop or your surface at roughly the same height as the window, not below it. Once you've identified the light source that you're going to be shooting next to, you'll want to quickly observe the light that's actually coming into the room at that moment. If it's a cloudy day or the sun is not positioned in such a way that the sunbeams are coming directly into the room, then you already have kind of naturally soft and naturally diffused light. So those are really great conditions to be shooting in, and you don't really need anything additional in front of that window. However, if it's a really sunny day and the window that you're shooting next to has direct light coming straight in, flooding your surface where you're going to be shooting, you might want a little bit of help to diffuse and soften that light so the shadows aren't so strong. And for that, you might want to use a tool such as a diffuser, which is something like this. It will be a sheer fabric that you can hang in front of your window, and it will just soften those sunbeams coming through the window so they don't cast those very, very strong, hard shadows onto your scene. This one is actually quite small. It might not look like it so much on the video, but it is on the small size, and it does fold down very nicely into a compact size, which is great for storing. Another tool that you might want to have as a food photographer is a bounce board or a couple of different bounce boards. We use bounce boards, as you might have guessed, to bounce or reflect light back into the scene. So we might use the white side of a bounce board to fill areas that are maybe a little bit darker in the scene, make them a bit brighter. Or we might use the darker side of bounce boards to deepen shadows and add a bit more contrast where maybe the image is feeling a little bit flat and lacks depth. So my bounce board is quite small. It is from Amazon and it's just A4 size. One side is black, one side is silver, and the inside is white. And this has been very helpful for me. It's light, it's small, it's portable, which means I can take it on all my shoots with me. It doesn't take up too much space. And I've actually found it perfect for the kind of size scenes that I am shooting at the moment. Also, we're going to be looking at props and backdrops. So you want to be selective when you're planning a shoot and choose the right props and backdrops that are going to complement the style that you want to go for. So for light and airy images, you're probably going to want to choose slightly lighter backdrops and also lighter or neutral coloured props that will complement each other and really add to the story and overall feel of your scene. The last tool that I want to talk about is my trusty tripod. I almost always have my camera mounted on a tripod when I am shooting. This helps me with my composition because it means that my camera is stable, it's staying in one position, and when it's tethered to my laptop, I can see exactly what I'm doing and make very small adjustments while I'm going. But also it's really helpful for shooting in winter. So I'm living in the UK, it's dark in winter, the days are short, and I don't have as big a time window to play with as I would in the summer. So having a tripod means that my camera is nice and stable, and I can keep my ISO low, and I am able to open my shutter speed. I'm able to have long shutter speeds, which allows more light to come in, brightening up my scene without having to compromise on quality. So there we've talked about the tools that I use to capture light and bright photos. We have a diffuser for softening any direct sunlight that might be coming in through the windows. We have a bounce board to fill light or deepen some shadows. We have light backdrops with complementing props, and we have the tripod to keep the camera stable and to allow us to shoot with a longer exposure. Now I'm going to set up my scene and we're going to do a quick photo shoot together so you can see how I put these props into action during a live photo shoot. Okay, so this is the composition that I decided to go with, and as you can see I chose a light coloured backdrop and light coloured props. They're in a monochrome colour palette and the props are not shiny, so there are no horrible reflections coming off them from the window. As for the lighting, I decided not to use a diffuser for this shoot because it was a cloudy day. So as you can see here, when I put the diffuser up against the window, the frame just became really, really dark, and I just decided that I didn't need a diffuser on this occasion because the light was already naturally very soft. Now I'll just quickly fast forward through my composition so you can see how I'm positioning my oranges, the blood oranges, which are also in a monochrome colour palette and also quite a light subject. So now I'm going to show you the difference between using a bounce board and not using a bounce board. So here I'm going to take the shot that I have composed without a bounce board. So this is just the raw image that you can see from my camera with the natural light coming through the window and no bounce boards around the frame. Okay, so there's that image. And now I'm going to take another one and I'm going to position my white bounce board to the right-hand side of my scene. So you can see when I put it down that the right-hand side of the frame becomes much brighter and the shadows also become a little bit lighter. So I'm going to focus and retake that shot, and then we're going to look at them side by side so you can see the difference. So here you can really clearly see the effect of using a bounce board. The one on the right is where I've used the bounce board. You can see the whole image is a lot brighter. The shadows are also a bit lighter, but there is still enough shadow that there is a dynamic feel to the image, and there is still enough depth in those shadows that we can enhance them in editing if we want to. And that is it for today's video. I hope that these tips for light and airy food photos was really helpful for you, and that you now have some newfound confidence to go out and try shooting a light and bright photo, and that you now also know some little tips to help you edit them as well, just to enhance that beautiful effect. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I would love it if you leave a comment below letting me know what your takeaway message is and what you liked about it. Thanks so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.